I have my note cards. They better be appreciated because
They're actually super cute.
I hope they like. Okay, so I was gonna get a bigger size, like 5x7. And the stupid thing was like, no, it's going to be blurry. It's going to be blurry. So I was like, okay, whatever. I got 4x6 and they said the same thing. It's going to be blurry. It's going to be blurry. And I'm like, okay, this is like 89 cents. Like, I'm just going to order it anyway.
Yeah.
It's not blurry
No,
at
it looks
all.
really good.
Like, I think the bigger size would have been fine.
I think so too. I think it's just like the resolution of the image, which you can easily fix.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm going to probably order bigger ones at some point because
just try it.
These look good.
I love the rain part of it all.
I
like,
know,
you
it's
really
so
put it all
cute.
together.
I know.
That's so cute.
I really like it. Our first logo, I was like not crazy about it.
Yeah.
And then we like started to redo everything and I was like, wait, this is cute.
It's so cool, honestly. Like, just knowing so many people we went to school with.
Yeah.
And like kids our age just starting businesses so
I know.
So just easily like out of nowhere.
Also, some are having children.
I know. I've seen people getting married, having children. Everyone's just on a completely different path.
It's like exciting to see though. I'm like, whoa.
I think, am I supposed to be having a child?
Right.
Like, am I behind?
Hi guys. What an intro. That was so good. So these are my two guests today, Angeli and Daniela, and they started a business and then they closed the business, which is totally fine. But because they were brave enough to close the business, I really wanted to have them on and talk about that, especially, you know, they're so young and they did this crazy thing. I have a lot of questions. So, okay, my first question is, how are you guys? Like,
we're really good.
Okay,
super
good.
excited. A little nervous.
I know.
Can't lie.
The jitters just started to hit. I feel it in my heart. But
No.
it's okay.
The sweating is starting really soon.
Okay. Well, at least like this isn't live. Some people do like a live stream and that's how they do it. And like I could never.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's like 5 hours of me just yapping. I don't even think I want to hear that.
I watch that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is for you
Hit
specifically.
me.
A few years ago, you started your own jewelry brand all on your own. So I want to know, like, what happened to that? Did it become this brand that you guys started together? I know it wasn't the same name. And, like, what was the reason for stopping that business? How long did that last?
That one was more so like me experimenting. So that was, I think, maybe 3 years ago now at this point, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I pretty much always knew I wanted to start a business. My biggest thing I was running into was what I wanted to do. And in the relationship I was in at that time, I had a really supportive boyfriend and I just had a crazy love for jewelry. Like it was my thing. I loved to stack. I would try to mix metals, like all these different things. It was super interesting to me. And then I started learning the materials, all these different things, like things that you normally wouldn't care about if you're just buying the jewelry.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, kind of want to make it myself and see if I can have like anything creative. But a lot of the stuff was like me going to Michael's and like getting different beads and wires and stuff, which was great. Okay.
Yeah.
It was cute. I made mini lobster earrings. It was all super fun.
Oh my
and
God,
then
cute.
he suggested, he was like, maybe you should start a business and do it that way. So I think I don't even remember what we were talking about. Maybe it was my love for avocados, whatever it was. And then he was like, well, I don't think you should call it avocado. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that's a good one either. That's definitely trademarked somewhere. So I called it Avado.
Oh, okay, yes.
I think I called it Avado Creative Studio. I would have to go back and look because it was such a short period.
Yeah.
But I also realized as much as I wanted to do it and start a business and it was super cool, it was just way too unorganized for me.
Right.
Like there was no like structure. It was like, okay, I don't know where to start. Like, do I put this up on Etsy? Do I go on Instagram and do it? But I knew I wanted to.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to take a step back. I have like 40 other things to do. I'm still in school. I'm working 2 jobs at that time and I just could not balance it.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, you know, I'll put it on the back burner for now. And then just kind of, if I have the time to go back, I'm going to go back. But of course, if my life takes a different direction, I'm going to go a different direction. And then she knew about it. We would talk about it every once in a while. Like I would talk to my friends about it. I pretty much always talked about me owning a business and doing all of that. But I don't think we like once I closed that store, we talked about it.
No, not at all.
It was maybe like
it was brief. I don't think we ever discussed it.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think we even talked about doing anything business together for like
years.
A year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like this was way after. Like us even building something way after.
Yeah.
How did you guys decide that you wanted to work together in the business aspect, and then like what made you decide on jewelry?
Yeah, I mean, Danny and I have always been very aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I think just in general, in every aspect, we are definitely the friends that don't let each other finish talking because we already understood what is to be said.
Right.
And I think as we grew older, it just became more and more aligned, and we started just having like random coffee dates just to catch up. And we just started thinking it was a lot. I think Foxtail saw us so many times that they were tired of us.
No way.
For sure.
Well, okay, wait. This is also like important to mention is like I've known you guys since elementary school.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. Have you guys known each other before, or no? You met in elementary?
No, we met and
we didn't even meet in elementary.
Did you not?
Did we?
I don't think so.
No,
we actually became friends in like middle school.
In middle school, yeah.
We went to the same elementary school, and I think we had
we all went to
friends.
That's really weird.
No, and the funniest part was we were literally inseparable in middle school, and then after middle school, we both went our own ways. Like we barely even talked to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, I think, till what?
I think
sophomore?
Like no, dude, because COVID happened. And then I went to working full time. I didn't go back to like physical school.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember that.
It was your 18th birthday when we all randomly just went to Miami.
Was it really?
It was.
Like nothing like bad happened. It was just
nothing
like
bad happened.
Yeah.
We just I think at that point in our lives, like COVID also made such an impact in what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were just in completely separate spaces.
Right.
And we never had any bad blood. Like
no, none whatsoever.
She's literally my relative at this point.
Yeah.
But no, we went from being super like inseparable. We would go to every single event together. If you saw us on Halloween,
oh my God.
we would never do like out of budget costumes. We would literally like wear a color and then just cut up a letter.
Oh my God.
We were M&Ms one year. We were Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper was really iconic.
It was.
I just want to put that out there. It was great.
Just in general, like our friendship has always been very aligned. So
yeah.
We can. The thing with our business meetings is that they always sidetracked.
Okay.
Yeah.
We would definitely like Foxtail would kick us out, and we would just sit outside for another 2 hours just yapping.
They were closed. They were ready to go home, and we were just like so in tune into our conversation.
You're like, actually, we're not done yet.
Yeah, no.
Well, honestly, I don't think that our like Foxtail dates even really started as like business conversations. Like it was literally us just
hanging out,
like catching up. Like we've just always been super busy people. Like she was working like 3 jobs at once. Still is. Like I don't know how she sleeps.
Yeah, I know
how she functions.
A day is not enough for me.
And yeah, like I was working all the time. We know we don't want to work for anybody. We know we want to build something. We had those aspirations separately, and it was like, wait, you want to do that?
Yeah,
wait,
let's just
I want to
put
do
it
that
together.
Okay, so when you say aligned, like you like business, personal, like you mean literally basically?
No, like in general.
Okay. Like career paths, like
just like I mean,
pretty much.
Okay,
pretty much. Because we had the same interests. We just knew that everything was aligning correctly.
Right. Okay.
Like it was like signs. It was like, wait, this matches.
Yeah.
We can agree on this. We're not really the type of friends like to argue either. Like, of course, you have bickering.
Had our fair shares, but we're very good at communicating with each other.
100%.
It could have been anything. You chose jewelry. Why is that?
So I think at that time, it was more so what I had already done before. Like I did a lot of research at that time. I was trying to find manufacturers, people to work with. And I did. Starting a business, if there was anything easy about it, everyone would start a business.
Right.
So I was super scared, and I did the research and everything, but I just almost didn't know how to start. She really helped align everything. Yeah. And I was like, thank God. thank God I have you, because I don't know if I would have been able to do this. And so I pretty much knew the structure of like jewelry and profit, all that stuff. So it was really easy to just kind of jump in and have her like tag along with me.
That definitely wasn't like our first or only idea. It just happened to be what we had more information on at the moment. And since we both have such busy lives, it was like, okay, let's not completely sidetrack and go into something that we know nothing about. Let's just start with something small and see what we're able to do with it so that we can go into future ventures. But I feel like it took us a long time to launch because of how busy we were.
100%.
Yeah. How did you guys decide on the name Bumi? That's what it is, right? Bumi?
Bumi.
Bumi. Okay.
But it's okay. Like we didn't go anywhere specifically on that.
We didn't do any, what is it? It's not mnemonics. Never mind. Let me not.
What?
Like, you know those things that have like the brackets and they tell you how to pronounce a word?
Wait, what?
Okay, never mind.
I know what you're talking about, but
But like, what are they
phonetics?
called?
Oh, yeah.
What did you say? Phonetics?
Mnemonics.
Mnemonics? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was always wondering. I was like, I don't know if I'm saying it right or.
It's okay. I don't even think at that point
we might not even be saying it right. It's not in English.
Like, okay, wait. So how did you come? Like, who?
That was Danny.
Okay,
that was me.
Did it just like pop in your head and you were like, cute?
No. So I have this big infatuation with like Indonesia and Thailand and Bali, and that Bumi means earth in Indonesian.
Oh, cute. That is really nice.
I mean, pretty much like.
And in a lot of like Asian languages.
At the time, it just made a lot of sense to us because we were pretty much all about like what we were trying to build in the business was about like earth and like all these things. So
regardless of any idea we've had, it's always been to help like a specific community or like make a difference in the world. So our idea was to pretty much like sell this jewelry and have a percentage go to the shelters and just it aligned. Animals, earth, it came together.
Yeah. Okay, really cute. Okay. What was the process leading up to the launch? I know you just said it took a while to do that.
It did.
Very interesting. Like, how did you plan on what you wanted to post on social media, the launch dates, what like content specifically?
The launch process, I think, took us really long because we went through catalogs. We went through catalogs so extensively that like we would literally sit for 5 hours just looking at pieces.
Oh my gosh.
And we couldn't ever decide on anything. And then when we were decided, they would be sold out or they wouldn't ship. And it honestly, it took us a few months to even place the first order just because of how long that process takes. And
I think it took us like 6 months or something like that.
I think we started like November of like 20, what year are we in? 24?
That's so real.
And
that's so real.
And then the day we launched on St. Patrick's Day, and we were not ready. We had our website ready. We had that stuff ready, but we weren't fully ready. We just genuinely needed to get it up and running.
So you guys didn't make the pieces.
No.
How does that work? Like,
so it's essentially, I don't want to say wholesaling because it kind of is. But no, it is.
It's
okay.
It is.
So we found a manufacturer. We found a wholesaler that had a few different manufacturers that were under it. So I think that was also a hard part to it because we didn't have a direct connection to those manufacturers.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a third-party vendor, and we didn't know. Like a lot of times, sizing wasn't up. Material products weren't listed. So there were a few items that we ordered where we just had to garbage them.
Yeah.
It was a lot of every single piece that you would go through. You didn't know pretty much anything. Like even they would put like the weights and things like that, which are super important when you're doing orders, like big orders, because that all goes into shipping. And none of them ever made sense. So it was literally us trying to decipher.
Yeah, that's so complicated.
It was a lot of just like some things were in grams, and then an earring would be like 6 grams, and then a ring would be like 21 grams, and we're like, what? How does that even make sense?
And then we, even with that same manufacturer, wanted to do like custom pieces
that we were designing.
But again, I think just the communication, it was really difficult.
It was.
Like these manufacturers are not in the US.
Yeah.
So it's communicating with someone that's in a completely different time zone. that you're trying to portray them the ideas that you have.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, I can
hard
tell
to
her
explain.
the idea that I have and she'll get it. But it's hard
Right,
for you
yeah.
to tell a complete stranger, like, I want this, this, and that.
Mhm.
Can you make it happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And our goal with the business was to eventually get there, but
Mhm.
it is insanely expensive.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
It takes deep pockets.
Yeah.
Like deep
Mhm.
pockets.
It takes a few thousands just to manufacture one piece.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
A lot of manufacturers are not very open to working with small businesses just because
Mhm.
you're ordering a smaller quantity. It's
Right.
taking them more work.
Oh,
So
wow.
you would have to, I think we tried to manufacture a ring.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, sorry, you have to order like 12,000 pieces. And we're like,
Yeah.
we don't even have a business to, or like a clientele
Yeah.
to promote
Yeah.
this
Wow.
to. And it's like 12,000 pieces of one size.
Of
oh
one size,
my
yeah.
gosh.
I feel like we did pretty good with a lot of the pieces.
Uh-huh.
We definitely had some stragglers in there, but
Oh, yeah. We had
we had
plenty.
yeah.
Oh my
Plenty.
gosh. In terms of social media and like what you would post when you would post it, did
Mhm.
you guys have a plan for that, or were you like, we're not going to think too much about this aspect, we'll just put it out?
So I think we started off wanting to structure it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we started
Mhm.
off. I mean, you start off everything wanting
Right.
a structure.
Yeah.
Having busy lives, it was honestly really hard to get content
Right.
at times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we would batch produce content, and it would just be like, okay, cool, we're just gonna post whatever we have.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely had a shoot where Danny wasn't able to be there, and
Yeah.
there were moments where I wasn't able to be there. So it just ended up being we're just gonna post whatever we
Mhm.
have.
Again, there's so many different aspects
Right. Mhm.
that this was our first run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. True.
So we were learning as people were learning of us.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So
right.
like
That's a great way to put
yeah,
it.
that's the best
Mhm.
way I can say it, just because we'd never done this before.
Right.
We did try scheduling at certain
Yeah.
points. Like we definitely put like, okay, let's try to have this out by this date.
Yeah,
Mhm.
by this time. And I think
But it was
that
hard.
even when we did that, sometimes we saw no difference. Or
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
would see better
Mhm.
engagement on posts that we would just randomly post
Right.
whenever we
Yeah.
I feel like
remembered.
that's what a
So it
lot
is
of
really
people
hard,
have said.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's hard because you see the things where it's like, okay, post on Tuesday at like 6 p.m. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I think those are a bunch of bullshit. And
I know,
have
yeah.
tried to believe
I agree.
them.
I
so
think
I
so,
agree.
too. Even for
Mhm.
like my
I posted
own
on
personal
Tuesdays.
account.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
It's hard, and I think
Yeah.
just because I feel like back then
Mhm.
there really wasn't a strategy to it, and
Yeah.
now since it's grown so much, there is a strategy, and it's very important to have a strategy. But sometimes it just
right.
doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you really I don't think we'll ever be able to pinpoint
Yeah,
like, okay,
absolutely.
this at this time or whatever.
because your
Yeah.
worst video can blow up, and your best one can literally get like
I
2
know.
likes. We also had a lot of difficulties in partnerships with
Oh,
like
yeah.
shelters.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which was the
Yeah.
one that we were the most surprised about. I was doing a lot of reaching out to people. I think the
Mhm.
one person that like reached back out was like a shelter in New York.
It was
Oh.
it was a shelter. They were based in New York, but they
Mhm.
actually worked in Puerto Rico.
yeah,
Oh.
Which is the
Okay.
craziest
very
part. Like
random.
Yeah.
like they don't even they're
No.
still apart, but they're a completely separate
Yeah.
shelter.
Right.
And they were the only ones that actually kind of took us
And the
seriously.
guy like he hopped on a call with me, and we like had discussions about everything. But the ones in Orlando, it's like the guy. Oh my god.
The responses were just crazy.
Okay, hold
We're
on.
sidetracking.
Yeah.
For context, there was like a certain percentage of proceeds that went to like
Yes.
animal shelters and whatnot for people who bought their pieces. So that's
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
specifically talking about. But that's really interesting. I'm really surprised by that.
And it
So
like
were-
it
so
Yeah.
were we.
I thought essentially like the reason behind it was okay, like a group that needs help will be more likely to accept the help,
right.
but apparently not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Apparently not. I
Yeah.
think the one in Orlando, not the Orange County shelter itself, but it was like another.
I don't think we reached out to
No,
them.
we didn't, because
No.
they had like different requirements because they're
Oh.
a government like
Wow,
funded place.
that's really interesting.
We
Yeah.
learned a lot about the shelter. Like
It was a
requirements.
humbling
Yeah.
experience. That I will say.
Wow.
I think the guy, he thought that I was scamming him,
Mhm.
and he
Which
thought
is understandable.
Yeah, I know, but he thought that he forwarded the email to his
I
coworker,
forgot about that.
and he ended up emailing me,
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
and he essentially was like, a jewelry business that wants to give to the shelter. LOL, what a scam. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude, I completely forgot about that email. She called me, or you had texted me or something.
I was so mad. I called her. I was like, what the hell?
I was like, what kind of... No, like...
No, what was worse? He emailed me after and was like, do you want to set up a coffee? No, I'm not taking you to coffee. You are literally an old man. Leave me alone now. I don't want to help you.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Okay, well, that
it's so unexpected, I'll be honest, because, like, it's a shelter. Like,
right.
Yeah, we just wanted to help.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting anything out of them
at
all.
We were not asking for anything in return.
Right.
Literally nothing.
Wow.
We were just asking, like, can we talk about you guys?
Yeah.
Like, are we allowed to talk to you? How
can we donate?
The donation process?
Yeah.
We also ran into a lot of charities that require $25,000 minimum. And we were like, oh, okay.
Oh
what
my
kind
God.
of charity is this?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. This is really interesting. This kind of leads me into my next question. Like, do you think there's anything not talked about when starting a business?
Oh, yeah,
or
sure.
like, what's something surprising you may have learned about doing this? Even about closing it, what was super surprising or not talked about enough?
Oh my God.
Clearly not that, because I had no idea.
We didn't either. It was something that we went into and we were like, what the heck?
Right.
Because we were like, oh, this is so good. Like, we're going to be doing something to give back.
Right.
Something
and I don't even think it was us being naive about it.
No,
we genuinely had good intentions behind it. I mean, I can understand. But, I mean, there's so many different things we struggled with. We went through, like, it is not easy.
No.
Right. Yeah. What would you say is like probably the most surprising thing besides the answer you just gave me? Because I'm truly shocked.
That's a good one. Oh my God.
I know.
I feel like there were so many.
Right. For sure.
I think honestly, this is like a normal answer, I feel, but it was just, I would say, the money aspect of it all.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard. Don't get me wrong. All small businesses struggle in the beginning. Absolutely. But it is incredibly hard when you want to create something. And of course, like, you can definitely let's talk about like jewelry specifically. You can definitely make jewelry at home. You can buy the beads at Michael's and you can buy the wire and do all this stuff. But it all comes down to the product that you're selling to your customer, how good of quality it is. I could definitely sell you an earring with beads on it and it's going to be beautiful, but how long is it going to last?
Right.
Yeah. So when you want to put so much time and effort into a piece, and then you realize you're like, this is tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you are going into debt if you don't have this.
And that's normal.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I think most businesses do.
They do. I just think for us, in the situations that we're in, I mean, we're both people who are a little bit of workaholics just because.
I was going to say, with how busy you both were, it seemed like it was like.
It wasn't. I think our plan was initially to just grow as much as we could to build up a fund for that. So we weren't playing into like things that we use for our car payments or just like our regular bills and things that we want to do in our personal lives.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay, let's keep growing this and see how we're able to like save this money, because we didn't profit off of anything. We were essentially putting everything back into the business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like most people do.
Right.
But, yeah. I mean, it's like the number one rule in any kind of business you're starting. Like, any profit that you're making that first year or two is never going back into your pocket. It is always going back into the business. And then the whole shelter aspect of it too, like, I would say just behind the scenes, the actual like running the numbers on the business, making sure that our profit margins are right. That is so hard.
Right. Yeah.
So hard.
You want to make the profit.
I'm just a girl.
And then not only make the profit, you want to donate some of it too.
That was a big part of it too. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like certain people looked at us and they're like, okay, they're stupid. Like, they're just starting and they're already giving away money.
How did you guys decide, like, okay, we're going to close? We're going to do the thing that nobody says they're going to do. We're going to do the thing that nobody talks about. Yeah. We're going to do the thing that's, like, forbidden or, when like, you start.
Shamed upon.
Right.
100% it feels like that. I'm going to be real. It was a really difficult decision because it all comes down to our biggest thing when we started this was, let's just take the leap and do it.
Yeah.
Because if we don't take the leap, we're never going to do this.
Right.
And that was our big thing. Like, just jump into it, and then wherever it takes us, it will take us.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happened in that time. Like, tariffs hit. That was a huge part of it all.
Yeah.
Like, it was 145% tariff.
Yeah.
It was
my God.
crazy.
Right.
It was and we didn't get a notification. We didn't get nothing. We went to place our summer collection order, and there was a huge warning on the website that was like, by the way, by this day it'll be 145% tariffs added onto your order.
Oh my god.
Dude, my heart
calculated
sank.
that, and it was literally like what, $400 just in shipping.
Oh my god.
For a small order.
For a small order, that was not even near that amount.
I think it was maybe a total of like 30 pieces.
So the shipping more than the like cost of the order?
Quite literally. Yeah. It would almost like quadruple the price.
How do you start something at a certain price range and then all of a sudden you just have to bump it up so high? It's like,
and it's like that was also our big thing too, was affordability.
Yeah.
Like there's so many jewelry companies out here that, just being real, but half of the things that are being sold on social media and all these social media brands that are going viral and all these different things are selling jewelry for like 90 or 100, like a pair of earrings for 90 or 100. Mind you, I know the manufacturers you're using.
We know how much they cost.
Right. And then if you actually really go into their website and look at the material, they're using brass. They're using gold-plated brass. That tarnishes so quickly. I would not feel good spending my hard-earned money, $90 to $100 on a pair of earrings that are going to either turn my ear green or get brown and black and look ugly.
Well, and especially too if it's like a smaller business that hasn't built up their like credibility.
Right. So it's like, why would we bump up our stuff to $90 when we're not even at that scale yet? But there's other companies doing it because they have that. They have their following already. But
I think for us it was also making sure that we were doing something that we would buy.